So let's look at the macro economy now. And this is where Gillian comes in. Jamaica has received its best credit rating ever. We're now at double B minus. This is from Standard & Poor's, up from B plus internationally. And for those of you who are wondering, how is B minus better than B plus? It's a double B minus. So they have Standard & Poor's has this rating system that goes from D all the way to triple A plus. So in the B range now, you start at B minus, B, B plus. Then you go double B minus, double B plus. Then you go triple B minus, triple B plus, then you get into the A range. So double B minus is better than B plus. This is our best international credit rating ever since Standard & Poor's started rating us in 1999. Gillian, what will this do for our outlook, and how did the government even achieve this?
So the government I'll answer your second question first. The government achieved this through prudent fiscal responsibility. I'll give you a scenario or an analogy if you're looking at it in comparison to your personal finances. So for me, maybe a few years ago, or somebody that you know, maybe a few years ago, they got into some financial trouble. They spent more than they earned. They weren't able to pay their bills in time. And this affected their personal credit score. To give you a scenario that is similar to what we're discussing now. So their personal credit score was terrible. Nobody wanted to lend to them. Whenever they were borrowing money, they were borrowing at a high rate. And the terms and the attractiveness of people who wanted to lend to you, you weren't very attractive as a borrower because you have a history of paying your credits poorly or having a terrible history of repaying your debts. So just like a person with a personal credit score, the country Jamaica has a credit score which can either aid them and help them to open up opportunities, or it can hurt them and cause them to have to pay more for borrowing to pay for things that are important to our country. And this can have effects throughout the entire economy. I'll give you an example of a few. So with an improved credit rating, you can borrow at lower interest rates on the international market. So if we are, as a country, are paying less on our debts, it leaves us with more money for other things like building roads, healthcare, security, education, and infrastructure. So we'll have more money to do all of those things. The second thing is that we'll just have access to better financial opportunities. So if my credit rating is an E, for example, when I go to Scotia doesn't want me. When I go to JMMB doesn't want me. They're not lending to me. So I have to go to the loan shark or the payday loan because those are the only people that will lend to me. As my credit score improves now, if I turn into an A or a B, then all of a sudden I see these emails coming in from Scotia. I see these emails coming in from GMMB. I don't have to go to them anymore. They are coming to me. They want to come to me and they want me to borrow from them because they know that my credit rating is good and I'll pay back the money. So they will lend to me at very attractive rates, very low interest rates.
Compared to the loan shark.
Exactly. The loan shark now, he's doing add-on interest rates, and you can research what that is. Add-on interest, and the rate is 20, 30, 40%, where now I'm going to my local bank, and my local bank is giving me 5%, 10% because I have a good credit history. All right. So that Jamaica now has opportunities where they are in a position to attract what's called foreign direct investment. And that can help us to stimulate the economic growth and help us to improve on the things I mentioned before. We have increased capital to spend on expenses, expansion of businesses, etc. So there are more opportunities for the local population when we have better credit score, when we have a better credit rating internationally. Right. It can also assist with improving our financial situation. An improved credit score allows us to be more stable, economically stable, financially stable. And in times of crisis, we have a better chance of weathering unexpected expenses. Just like in your personal situation, if an emergency comes up and you need to borrow some money quickly, you have a better chance of getting that emergency taken care of because you have a good image out there in the public that your credit rating is good. So Jamaica, same thing.
I like your point about foreign direct investment, because a lot of people look at credit scores and say, oh, it's only good for borrowing money, but not necessarily. Yes, it can give you better terms on borrowing, but it also allows outside investors to look at your country and say, this is a stable economic environment
Right.
I want to invest in. So if you, Gillian, have a business and you have a good credit score, you can use that to borrow money, but also you can use that, your credibility, to attract investors to your business. And so that's the same thing that would happen to Jamaica on a macroeconomic environment on a larger scale. That foreign investors can look at us and say, okay, double B minus, not too bad, better than some of your peers in the region. Maybe we should put some money into this country because this economy is fairly stable. So what does this do for our outlook now?
So Jamaica's outlook, it's very clear that a lot of work has been done by the government and the finance ministry to get us in this position across many administrations. We've come a long way, and I think it will only continue to go up as we express, or as we continue to be fiscally responsible and we continue to clear our debts and continue to repay our debts on time. Then it will allow us to move into the investment grade on the scale that you were discussing earlier, the A's. And once we get there, it opens up so many opportunities for individuals, businesses, and the country as a whole. The highway that just opened up, that's one. We would probably have 5 highways in a year.
The carpet, as Nigel calls it.
Yes, the carpet will be quite clean on the roads. All right. So there's a lot. We can't even begin to fathom how the things could change for us as a country. Our healthcare can improve. Our infrastructures will improve as well. There's so many opportunities for us to grow if we continue on this path.